Hi, I'm Claire.
And I'm Heather.
And we are
MasterPeace Astrology.
We're here with your forecast this week for Sunday, April 8th through Saturday, April 14th. This week is kind of a magical week with a lot of potential for really powerful regeneration and growth and opportunities to seize to kind of capitalize on this really powerful energy. And we'll talk to you a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a more positive week than we've had in a while. There is one little bump in the week, but it's not that bad because it is got a little cushion right next to it, so it's nice.
It is nice. It is. There's a lot, the energy, and it's still until the 15th, we still kind of feel like we're like pushing that stone uphill and it keeps on falling down. A lot of stalled energy, a lot of blocked energy.
Right.
Come Sunday, there's a big new moon in which things are going to abruptly be feeling like they're moving forward. So this is a very powerful week to capitalize, again, on some of this energy that's kind of just wants to break through, but it's not quite ready, so it still feels a little frustrating.
Yeah.
So on Sunday, we wake up to Moon-Pluto conjunction. Moon's in Capricorn. Yeah. Moon also sextiles Jupiter. So that powerful energy in the morning, Scorpio, Capricorn, if you are prone to getting up in the morning to go out, to go for maybe a spiritual kind of walk, commune with nature, work in your garden, very powerful morning to be out in nature and really and really connect with that energy.
Yeah, it's the energy can kind of go either which way. If you're not feeling totally secure in your own space and your own self, it can create that kind of
anxiety.
Anxiety. Or it can go the other way where you might feel completely at peace and like this week, this past week was so rumbly. We had to really kind of purge a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So you might actually feel very peaceful. So I'm hoping you all feel peaceful.
I'm hoping so too, but it's we have a lot of intensity because of Pluto stationing to go retrograde very soon on April 22nd. We have Saturn stationing to go retrograde on the 17th. While these are still like a good 10 days out or more, they're slowing down, and so we're just starting to feel this very potent energy. It's in Capricorn, along with Mars, 3 power planets in Capricorn. Like you say, it can make it can lead to feelings of unease if you're not really comfortable with that energy, or if it aspects your chart in a really tough way.
Right. It's in the whole month of April is kind of like this kind of point where we're really kind of building up until May, when Uranus goes into Taurus, which is a big, huge deal for that to happen. So we're kind of really in a phase where we're really going through a lot of inner processes and letting go and purging and getting rid of things that aren't working for us.
And at the same time, it doesn't feel like anything's happening because it feels like we're blocked. So it's kind of a paradox right now. And it's so frustrating because a lot of stuff's going on underneath. It's really powerful, but in our wakey life, it just seems like nothing's really happening.
But this week there's a lot of really nice things. We're kind of starting out, I kind of see Monday as kind of a nice day.
I think so, because you have Mercury and Moon making a really nice sextile at lunchtime, 12, and all these times are Pacific time.
Yes.
So 12:16 p.m., some clarity of thought after a lot of really intense Capricorn, Pluto, Moon emotions. I think that's really good. I think also, this sextile brings into, for me, this idea. This week we noticed a lot of sextiles all week long, principally with Jupiter and Neptune, water planets. Sextiles are opportunities. They're opportunities for growth, but they are not, you have to seize that opportunity, so you have to do a little work.
If something actually pops up in your life this week that sounds great, really jump on it, even though you may not be able to take off until the weekend. I mean, literally, next Sunday is when there's a new moon and Mercury goes direct. So this really is a time where you can kind of really feel like you can start moving forward a little bit.
Yes, it's very potent now, like you say, to seize the opportunity, to see when there's a relationship you can have with someone in power who's perhaps looking favorably on you. This is the kind of week that kind of thing is going to happen, like at work or in your personal relationships.
Right.
We have a very powerful Jupiter-Pluto sextile that perfects on the 14th of this week. That is the most powerful sextile of the week. But all these other sextiles are feeding into it. Jupiter-Pluto, when they form that sextile, it really is about a regeneration on a very deep level.
Very transformative.
And it speaks to how much we want to get to truth, a deeper meaning, a deeper purpose. And you'll see this theme in our news and in the collective, as well as personally. getting
Right.
to the truth.
And Tuesday is like Tuesday, Wednesday. I see are the big days where we're going to have a sun squaring
Oh,
Pluto,
yeah.
and that's a really big day. So both days, because
Yeah.
on the East Coast it happens around midnight on Monday, or I don't know.
No,
the
it's
timing
it's
is
it's
kind of-
Tuesday. It's really early. It's gonna be Tuesday night. So
Yeah,
it'll be
Tuesday while we're sleeping or going to bed, depending on where you live.
right early Wednesday.
So you're going to kind of feel it Tuesday, and you're going to feel it definitely Wednesday, but it's basically power control issues, ego issues, communications may be a little bit rumbly. What I would recommend is it's really kind of trying to make us dig deep to find our authenticness and what is our ego.
Yeah, it's a purge of the ego, isn't it? In
So
some
when
ways.
it is.
It really is. It's kind of like that ego is just kind of, if you're holding on to some ego structures that just need to be razed to the ground, it's going to happen.
You may find that you're having some struggles either within yourself or with other people, and it's really important to find your authentic self first before speaking, because you don't want to come at people with the ego, and really kind of work through it. It is very transformative, and you want to transmute the energy. This whole week is basically about transmuting and transforming energies.
Absolutely. And that on Tuesday night, when at least on the Pacific coast, and we have Sun square Pluto, there's also a Venus-Mars trine, and that energy is going to be, it's going to be a little confusing because you got Venus and Mars and Earth signs convincing us that it's comfy, but in the background we got this Pluto-Sun square, which can be a real ego conflict, so don't get too comfortable.
Yeah, and it could also offset some of the energies, and
Sure,
it could cushion it a little bit.
It could cushion, or it could seduce you into feeling a little too comfortable.
Right, like, oh, maybe I can talk to this person about something, and then all of a sudden they hit you with a bat or something, because
literally,
how dare you do that?
Right, no, you can't. Yeah, so you just want to, again, yellow light, proceed with caution.
Right.
It's but that is Tuesday night's intense, so keep that in mind. We'll be feeling that Monday and Tuesday.
And Wednesday.
And Wednesday, yeah, we'll even wake up feeling that. But then Wednesday we have the moon going into Pisces, and moon will be in the morning before the moon goes into Pisces. The moon forms a nice sextile to Uranus. That's the big aspect of the day. That's early. It's just a really creative opportunity.
Yeah.
So, but the day itself should be really kind of, I would think, pleasant.
I would say so too. And
as we build up to, the new moon, and the next day we have moon conjunct Neptune, and
yeah, I see Thursday is a very nice, peaceful day. Could be a little confusing, but I would go for peaceful.
Yeah, I would say confusing at the worst, but peaceful at best. And again, we're starting with the moon in Pisces to really, moons in water, getting in touch, again, with this really profound healing energy in Scorpio and in Pisces. Neptune and Jupiter, again, Neptune and Jupiter forming these sextiles, are also planets that are in water signs that really are about faith. Both of them.
Right.
And faith is something that really can carry us through this kind of ego purge many of us are going through this week.
Just learning to trust and allow.
Yeah, and it's that kind of intuition that comes in like on a different channel. It's not the intuition of fire that's very passionate that allows us to seize on opportunities like in the moment. It's more of a deeply mystical kind of thing.
And I see Mercury is stationing. So that's what we call stationing, is when it kind of stays at the same degree before it goes direct. So it's kind of like flatlining and staying.
Like on Friday?
Yeah.
I think starts on Friday, starts the station. Yeah, you're exactly.
So we're going to talk a little bit about the new moon and Mercury going direct, only a little bit, because that's more next week.
It is next week, but it's on Sunday
but we
night.
want to prepare you.
We do, because the energy at this end of the week, on Friday the moon goes into Aries in the evening, and that's going to be kind of the spark that brings our attention to the new moon Sunday night. And so that's going to give everybody time to really get ready for a very new beginning. All this energy that's installed is going to move fast.
It really is going to just take off. Woo!
So yeah, so Friday with Moon in Aries, we have Moon sextile Pluto really early in the morning Pacific time, and then Moon trine Jupiter also early. So I think that day is pretty calm.
Yeah, I see it as kind of a very active day. I see Saturday as a very active day. The new moon energy, we're going to start feeling it, and I think it's going to feel really good. I'm actually really excited about it.
Yeah, it's kind of like I think on Friday when Mercury starts to kind of appear to stop in the sky, it's going to really catalyze this momentum to move forward.
Right.
But it's going to feel kind of like things just seem kind of still sometimes.
Yeah, a little stagnant, just sort of like flatlining.
Yeah, I think that was a word that we used. Yeah, kind of. There's that, but don't take that for like what's really going on. It's just that necessary pause before we really move forward.
Take a breath.
Mm-hmm.
But this week, I all in all, it's really good. Like Claire was talking about all these sextiles. They're kind of like these little diamonds, in a rock bed filled with all these rocks, and you're going to see something glittering, and you really need to pick it up and look at it, because literally it could be a diamond.
It really could be, and that's what this week is. A great metaphor.
Yeah,
right
so I would really take those opportunities and run with it, and you literally only have like a couple of days till this new moon.
Right. Change is going to happen really spontaneously with this Jupiter-Pluto sextile as well, because that really powerful slow-moving energy is, it really allows us to regenerate. It's a really powerful time for us, and also to restore ourselves and get connected with a higher purpose.
And we have to allow kind of this death and rebirth to happen in our lives and not resist any kind of changes that have been happening. Just kind of go with it and know that there's diamonds in the rough. There's, no matter what, there's going to be a positive outcome no matter what you're going through.
For sure. No, I definitely agree with that. And also call people's attention just to collective forces as well, because everything we're talking about is playing out in the news cycle. There's a hunger for truth. And next week we're going to speak more to some of these dynamics that are really, next week is such a powerful week. It's going to really stir things up. This is the last week of the sun completely in Aries. This is the last week of Chiron at 29 degrees of Pisces.
Huge.
And that goes, next week on the 17th, Chiron goes into Aries, Saturn goes retrograde, everything's going to really shift. So with Chiron at the last degrees of Pisces, just want to let everyone out there know, it is a really powerful time to kind of allow yourself to release a lot of unnecessary suffering, just due to this illusion of duality. Pisces really knows that we're more than matter, and really hates being stuck in a matter body. Just wants to kind of like dissolve in union with, the ocean and the universe. Where's the mothership is really the Pisces question. Yeah,
because when it goes into Aries, it's going to be more confrontational. The Chiron is our wounded warrior.
Right, wounded self-esteem, wounded self.
And with the Pisces, it tends to take it in like a sponge and just kind of try to transmuting the energy in some other kind of way, where Aries is more in your face.
It is, and it's going to be very personhood oriented in terms of like that, calling our attention to whatever wound we need to heal. So we're closing out the 7-year cycle of Chiron and Pisces, healing the wound of that illusion of duality. Okay, so many of you with with planets in the late degrees of Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, Sagittarius are really going to be feeling this.
It's a little rough,
but
you're okay.
Go all frozen and let it go.
Yeah, let it all go.
Really, it's a really good thing to think about this week.
This whole, basically, like this whole year is really powerful, especially leading up into May when Uranus.
Month of April.
Yeah.
This whole month.
This whole month, but this whole year from January all the way up to May has been very important because we're moving up to this big change.
Yeah.
Chiron is a huge thing to change from one sign to another because it is a 7-year cycle.
It is.
And the same with Uranus.
I want to, before we end, we're running out of time, but I want to touch quickly on Saturday really quick because the moon's in Aries, and that really is the day that sextile between Jupiter and Pluto perfects. That day it looks like it's going to be a really intense day. We're going to have Mars sextile Neptune and Moon square Saturn in the evening. So it is going to be kind of a day, at least early on, with Mars and Neptune kind of connecting your spiritual drive with your personal drive, and then getting ready for this new moon on Sunday.
Yeah, and also it could feel like you want to, the Mars and Neptune kind of sextile is also wanting to kind of push forward a little bit, but getting a little bit like you really have to transmute that energy into something more spiritual.
So that's our forecast for the week. We have a lot to talk about next week. Really kind of consolidate, gather your energy, and find your diamonds in the rough out there and connect your dots, connect your stars. We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.